Okay, thank you everybody. I do have somebody that from NVIDIA cannot make it today because he has some last minute family crisis. So he sent me an email, asked me to excuse him for this session. So that's why we recorded. And most likely I will not put this on YouTube just because a lot of information we discuss here, it might be company private, it might be sensitive information, and most of my training material is not open to the public. So that's something that we just want to consider. Maybe we post online, but we will have a private link. Only a few of us can see it. Okay? With me, when you learn with me, this is a master level course. I teach this at the master level. And also the two textbooks that we use, this one is over 500 pages. This one is over 700 pages. And the PMP exam is another 500 pages. So you can see that we have almost 2,000 pages of information, and we try to cover it in 6 sessions, so it's like 9 hours. So you will see there will be a lot of information in here. And the focus of this, thank you for everybody answer the questions, because that helped me understand what you know about project management, what you don't, and what you want to learn. Make it a lot easier for me to prepare, because I can teach it as extremely deep. I can teach this just enough for you to do your job. I think in here, Ngọc Hà and Chị Nhã probably the one that have the biggest project that they have to take care of, probably in the ballpark of a couple $1 million. Everybody else is not handled to the $1 million level, maybe in the ballpark of 10, 20,000. Some of you maybe somewhere in between. When I teach project management, usually the minimum project that people have to handle is in $100 million. Otherwise, they don't really need my expertise. So the way I teach this 6 weeks, I simplify everything to the point that most of my BSF in country, we have somebody from Philippines, we have somebody from Cameroon, we have somebody from Vietnam, we have somebody from Cambodia. We're supposed to have somebody from Kenya too. So this is a very international forum here. But rest assured, feel free to discuss whatever you want to discuss. And I'm also can take all of the topic offline on the private session if something you say, hey, I don't feel comfortable to share with some of these online, because I prefer to have this thing in the private session. I fully understand that. Okay, so with that, let's go in with the material that I prepared for you today. It's going to be very fast paced, so everybody hang in with me, and I will make sure that you have this information as well. All right, so a little bit of housekeeping, right? So we're going to have 7 weeks from January 11. It's only January 10. I've seen Chị Nhã and Chị Hà this morning at 6 o'clock my time, and now 8 p.m. I still see them. So it's been a very long day for me already. But I still using the time because most of you already ahead of me. Most of you already Saturday. It's still Friday in San Diego here. So I'm counting today is January 11. We go all the way to February 15th. So we have 7 weeks, but we don't have a class on February 1st because that's a Lunar New Year weekend, right? So the Lunar New Year is just like 2 days, 3 days ahead of that. And we do need to go to the temple. So I don't want everybody to study. Also, that gives you a week off so you can have more time to work on your project, because I do expect you to finish your project and you have to present your project in the last meeting. So this is very hands-on. I don't teach theory only. I don't just teach you a lot of stuff that you have no use. To me, that's not the value of my time. I teach you very practical stuff, and you're going to have the knowledge to use all of this material in your everyday. Okay, so here's the first question. Why do we want to learn project management? You can use the chat, you can raise your hand, and I can call you, but feel free to answer. Why do you want to learn project management? And let me see, who do I have here in the room that want to volunteer and say anything? Why do you want to learn project management? Okay. And if anybody want to answer, go ahead, just raise your hands. I know somebody I met in Cameroon at 5 o'clock in the morning, so a little bit early for him. I met, it's not that early. I have people work out with me at 5 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, okay. If nobody want to answer, you can use chat room to answer. But here's the thing. I just want to show you something. As a project manager in San Diego market, you can make your salary, right? Salary meaning you earn in a whole year. Your salary can be anywhere from 80,000 to 110,000 a year, okay? This is not a month, that's a whole year. So your salary can be anywhere from 80 to 110,000. So that's just somebody be a project manager in San Diego market without the PMP, without the professional project management professional certificate. With the professional certificate, if you are a professional certificate with the PMP license, if you are a PMP holder, you potentially can make a lot more. How much more? Here's the thing. Sometimes you pass the PMP exam, the company can give you 15 to 20,000 bonus. Okay, that's a very good incentive, right? Because this is a bonus, just means the company just write you a check for 15 to 20,000 if you pass the exam. I can remember when I passed my exam, when I worked for SIC, how much they give me, but I'm already a vice president at that point, so I don't think my bonus is just roll into my annual bonus instead of just a PMP bonus. The boot camp week, okay, if you want to pass a PMP exam, like this, we put everybody in the class and we teach them for 1 week. We do nothing, but we study 8 hours a day from 8 in the morning until 5 p.m. We break 1 hour for lunch. And for 40 hours, for 8 hours for 5 days, we just go over like thousand of questions, and we just train people to pass the exam. I don't recommend that's the way to learn, because that's really just like cram. Boot camp means you do something pretty quick. And that class usually $3,000, right? When people ask me to teach the boot camp, I charge $3,000 per person. Okay, not the class, per person, 3,000. So if like 20 people in the room, it would be like 60,000. Okay. Private coaching, a lot of people don't want to go to the class because they prefer me to teach them privately, because they don't want to sit with other people, or they don't want other people to see that they don't know much about project management, so they prefer me to teach them privately. If that's the case, then I will charge them anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. Okay, so you can see that having the PMP credential or have the skill to teach PMP for people to pass the class, you can make a lot of money. But here is the kicker that I really want everybody to see. Okay, if you are a project manager with the PMP credential, you can make 30 to 50,000 more. Let me remove this. I have this bees here because I don't want you to see the number. So let me remove the bees so you can see the number now. Okay, so without the PMP license, you can make anywhere from 80,000 to 110,000 for a project manager. With the PMP license, you can make from 90,000 to 150,000 for even higher. Some of my really good project manager, I can pay 200,000 a year salary, right? So you can see you can make really good money, but then that means you handle like $100 or $500 million project, pretty big. It's not like a small project. Okay, so that just gives you an idea. If you really want to be really good at project manager, you can make a lot of money if you are, ever thinking about being in America. And you have to be good with English too. So I see here already clap her hand because he got very excited. But then one thing about him is that you got to make sure you practice English, because The only way you can pass the PMP exam is only offered in English. It does not have any other language but English only. Okay, so the next part is how hard is this PMP exam? It's 200 questions in 4 hours. Okay, you just sit in front of the computer and take the test. 200 questions in 4 hours. That means you have to be able to answer like a question per minute. And all of this written in English, and some questions like half page long. So you have to read English, you have to be able to have English proficiency when you want to do this. I know that Ahmed mentioned about he'd like to learn because maybe one day he wants to take the PMP exam. You have to be serious about that. This is not something you just casually go and learn and pass, right? And you can see my PMP credential there. If you have high school diploma only, you need to work 5 years as a project manager before you can apply, and then they will review your application. If you have the bachelor degree, which most of you have bachelor degree, that means you graduate from college with a 4-year degree, then you need to have at least 3 years of working at the project manager in the past 8 years. So in the past 8 years, you need to have 36 months or 3 years equivalent, right? So that's like 6,000 hours. The other one, you need 5 years. That means 10,000 hours of being a project manager. But based on what I learned and based on my experience, just because you have the experience working as a project manager is not enough for you to pass the exam, because the people that wrote the exam questions, they might not ever really manage projects. So a lot of the question is kind of like, it really doesn't make a lot of sense, but you got to understand the way they ask questions and you have to answer them. That's why you have to take a boot camp so you can pass the exam, okay? But then also there are people pass the exam but come to me for a job, and I never ever want to hire them as a project manager. Just because they pass the exam, they have the PMP license, it doesn't mean they really know how to do project management, because that's something that completely different. A good example that I'm going to show you is this. Like, here is the example of one of the questions that you might see on the exam. Okay, here's the question. I'm going to read the question and I'm going to ask all of you to see which one is the correct answer. Okay, and this is something that really give Ahmed a good idea why taking the exam or learn to pass the PMP is not something that you just casually, you have to really learn and you have to really practice. You receive a notification from that a major item you are purchasing for a project will be delayed. What is the best thing to do? You here, that means you are a project manager, right? Or you running as a project. You get the notice that a major item that you buy in for your supplier to do a project will be delayed. What is the best thing to do? So they give you 4 choices. A, ignore it, it will go away. B, notify your boss. C, let the customer know about it and talk over options. Or D, meet with your team and identify alternatives. Who want to answer this question? Which one is the correct answer? Let me take a look real quick here. Somebody say D. Hajalan, can you explain why you select D?
I think, sir, good morning. It's morning here in the Philippines. I think D, because when we work on a project, we work with our team. So when there are circumstances such as this occur, you talk first with your team to determine or to understand the situation and what could be the possible alternatives to address it. And prior speaking to your boss about it, so that when you speak with your boss, you have you have the same idea or decision with your team, and whatever you're going to say or tell your boss, it's not just from you, but it's from your team as whole.
Okay, all right. So that's the explanation. I'm not going to say right or wrong because I just want to listen from other people. All right, I want to hear the answer from Viking Vietnam because I know you run a lot of projects. So let's say one of your suppliers um, deliver material delayed. What will you do? Somebody.
I think in this case, Viking team, normally we will meet with the team and discuss to find out the identify alternative way. Then we will notify different options for our boss to choose.
Okay. All right. So that means you select these also, correct? Okay. All right.
Yes.
Who else? Who else think there is better answer here? Who else think the A or B or C is the better answer? Should we let the customer know? Because usually the customer is the one that need to know, right? Because the customer will not be happy if this thing is coming late and therefore late the project delivery will be late. Or your boss, wouldn't you let your boss know that, hey, something will be delayed and there potentially issues that we have to face with? Okay, all right. Um, Anybody else want to take another guess at the answer before I let you know what is the correct answer from the people that prepare the exam? Okay, all right. If I remove the little b there, then the answer from Hajalan and from Chị Nhã of Viking Vietnam is correct. D is the correct answer, right? Normally, a lot of people don't know how to handle it. Then they pick A because they say, "Hey, I just want to ignore it," and then maybe it's go away. That's never a good option when you be a project manager. You will get fired if you just like ignore it. Notify your boss. A lot of people will say, "Hey, you know what? I need to let my boss know." That's not the best choice either because you need to inform your boss that hey, there potentially something delayed, right? But that's still not the best answer. Let the customer know about it and talk about options. That actually is a really, really good answer, right? Because you want your customer to be aware. If somebody build a school for me and the school may be late, then they need to inform me, right? But as a good project manager and as the people that writing all the PMP exam, their opinion is that in their rationale that you as the project manager, you have all the resources and you have all the team members. So in this case, they also select D is the correct answer because they want you to meet with the team and they want you to identify the alternative. And that's not really bad answer because when you notify your boss, if I am the boss, right, and you come to me and say, hey, Mr. Jimmy, the school building will be delayed. What is the first question that I will ask you? How late, right? And what else can you do about it? That means I will ask you how you're going to handle the situation. You can just come in and tell me it's late. That's never enough. The boss will ask, what are you going to do about it? That means you need to have the answer ready. Same thing with a customer. You go with a customer and say, hey, customer, sorry that we have this delivery coming late. Therefore, we might not be able to meet the schedule and your shipment may be late. Then the customer will say how late, right? And what else can we do instead of ship this thing by freight, by sea freight? Maybe we have to change to use air freight to ship it so we can save time. So they will ask you for alternative. That's the key word right here is alternative. Every time you run a problem, you need to have alternative and you need to have those answers ready. Okay, so congratulations for those that picked D. You got one question right, and you just have 199 more questions to go. Okay, so this is the example I show you. I cannot spend an hour a week in this class and teach you about all of these because you need to have a lot of knowledge and you need to have a lot of common sense on top of your working experience to be able to pass the PMP exam, right? And the only way you can do this if we have like 4,000 questions and we drill you every day, 8 hours a day to go through all these questions and it's prepare you for you to take the exam, okay? So that's not the purpose of this program because this program is teach you the basic so you can do your project instead of teaching you passing the exam. Okay, so we get that out of the way. So everybody, the first question I ask all of you is, what is a project? Who can answer me this question? What is a project? And why do we need to manage it? Oh, welcome Helen. Miss Helen from Kenya. Ahmed from Cameroon. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Ahmed, I saw you raise your hand. Can you open the mic
Hello.
and answer? Go ahead.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Hello.
Yes. I can hear you.
I'll just a project is just an endeavor or something we are undertaking in the service to create a better result. So in the short term, that's what we could say about a project.
Okay.
And by wanting to create this positive result, we have a set of specific objectives, which are time, budget, and the resources that we want to achieve at the end of this. That's just what I would say.
Okay. So I heard an endeavor, a short term, an objective. Okay. So I picked up a couple keywords in your answer there. Okay. Good. Anybody else? What's it, the project? All of you have a lot of things in mind when you answer the question. And a lot of you very general say, I just want to be better at project management. I just want to learn skills, which is fine, right? But I like the one that say, hey, I have a conference that I have to host. Oh, I have the factory that I have to move. These, to me, those are real projects, right? Sipman, go ahead.
Hey, hello, teacher. Hello, everyone. This for me, what is the project? For me, the project is the good plan. When we have the project, so we think about the project, and the project, I think we have a team, people. So have a lot of people. We have a lot of good thing to do the good project.
Okay.
For now the way. So the first one, I think, when we have the project in this mind, we will think about the future. We can do the project all together.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So if like me, when I have the project, I will think a lot of people around me. Like when a teacher give me a project to build a school,
Right.
so the project is the first thing have the project. We have think about the people around us, like construction, like we buy something else to build the school.
Okay.
Like that, something like that.
Yeah.
And the first one of the project, like Mr. Jamie and me think about the project, a lot of the project, like that, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
thank
like
you.
that. I really like, thank you, Simon. I really like your association project with people, right? You associate with people. And this time you say, I have a project sponsor that's like Mr. Jimmy give me money to build school. I have the staff that working with me, the construction crew to build a project. I have supplier that I'm going to buy material from. And I have my own people like you, your father, and your brother to help manage the project. So that's pretty good. You think about people in there. So those are very, very smart answer. No wonder you probably one of the best project managers that BSF has, and that's why we can build 30 something school in Cambodia in the last 2 years. All right, Viking, raise your hand. Let's hear from Viking Vietnam.
Yes. Hello, Thầy and everyone. For me, project that means that is the combo including human resource, the manpower, the tool, the management way, the
Management
method, And
method. Okay.
some other thing in order to get our target.
Right. Okay. All right. So you have tool, you have management, you have process to get something done, correct?
And manpower.
Manpower, okay, so manpower, people, resources, right? So all the manpower, the thing that Sidman identified, really good. Okay, all right. Who else? All right, good job. Okay, so I can tell right away a lot of you have experience about running projects, so that's why most of these answer. So tell me, okay, I just want to see everybody raise hands up if you think this is a project, a thumbs up if you think this is a project, and if you don't think this is a project, you can just have a thumbs out. So when you launch a new product, a service, a market, a conference event, it is a project. Thumb up or thumb down? Thumbs up, right? That is a project. So that's a thumbs up. Okay, good. All right, how about the next one? Build or move to the new factory or facility. Is that a project? That definitely is a project, and that's exactly why we have two beautiful ladies from Vikings Vietnam here. I saw them last night and I saw this morning, so it seemed like they always popping in my mind. Implement a this is merger and acquisition with another company. Your company, somebody, other company bought your company, or your company go buy somebody and you merge together, and now you have to put two companies separate and become one company. Is that a project?
Yes.
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 Okay. Yes, it's a project. Good. All right. And let's see, what's saving money for your children to go to college? Is that a project?
No.
No. Okay, Helen, can you explain to us why saving money for your kid to go to college is not a project?
I think it can become a project when we now withdraw the money and start putting in the activity, the real activity. Otherwise, when the money is just lying in the bank like that, I don't think it's a project, because a project is involving activities here and there,
Okay.
not just putting money somewhere.
Okay, not just put the money, but okay. So your definition of a project is there's activities associated with it, not just put money into the bank. Okay, good. I just hold that thought right there. That's fine. Okay, I do have one more example. If you want to buy a house, it is a project. You want to save money to buy a house, that's buy your first home. It is a project. Okay, I saw Gopal say the thumbs up. Okay, good. The best way to let you determine if it's a project or not, I'm going to show you. A project needs to have these 5 elements. Okay, any project needs to have these 5 elements. Otherwise, it might not be a project. And there's a difference. First of all, it has to be a temporary endeavors, meaning they have a start date and they have the finish date. But it's just an ongoing operation, right? Ongoing, just a build school foundation is a very good example, right? Build school foundation, we build schools. So we build school is not a project, but each of the school we build is a project, because each of the school we build, it have the beginning and have the ending date, right? It have people involved, have the location. So build school foundation and organization is not a project, it's an organization. But each of the school that we build is a project, right? And that's why there's a difference between something have the beginning and an end and something that going on as an operation, right? The second element of the project is a one-time result, okay? We build a school and we're done with our school. We go build something different, but we don't build a school and then we come back and then we do more to that. No, we say we build a school, school is built, we build a bridge is built, done, right? One time. Viking Vietnam in this situation, they need to move the factory. Once they move the factory, they're done. They don't keep moving around, right? Because they're not in the business of moving around. They in the business of making clothes, making garments. They're not in the business of moving, right? The mover that help them move and relocate to the new building, they are the one that keep moving people around. But for Viking Vietnam, they just move the factory one time and they're done, right? They require resources. This is exactly what Ms. Ha of Viking Vietnam mentioned earlier. You need to have time. Everybody mentioned about money, people, equipment, but you need to have time. Time is a very important element in project management, right? Otherwise, you don't have enough time, you will have to crunch your project. If you have too much time, then you have to worry about you don't have enough money to pay the people on the staff. So you need to have resources. The key words here, resources. Sipman from Cambodia mentioned only about the people factor, the HR, the human resources. But in general, we call all of these resources: time, money, people, equipment, supplies that you buy to build the schools, or the equipment that you have to go build a new factory. These are the resources. I know somebody needs to, Ms. Hieng Lê, need to plan a very, very major award show conference. Those are the things that she needs to have time, she needs to have money, she needs to have people get involved, and she needs to have a lot of equipment to run that event, right? So all of these are resources. Now, number 4 is something that makes you a good project manager or a very terrible project manager. All projects have uncertainty, okay? Because we only plan for it. We don't know it's happened, what will happen in the future. So all projects have risk. And the good project manager, that the one need to know how to identify the risk and have the plan to manage that risk. So in technical terms, we call risk management, right? Construction have 2 issues you all have to worry about: weather, right? Because the weather, when it rains, they delay, right? And the people get sick, people don't show up for work, then you have delay, right? So when you do construction, like I get involved with a lot of major construction job. We're not talking about building school because those are very simple. It's not, but we build an airport, or we build a seaport, or we build a data center, then the delay have a major impact. So we got to make sure we manage for the potential weather delays, people not showing up, people go on strike. And when I work at the San Diego airport, every day that I'm delayed, I got penalized $90,000. So $90,000 for every day that I'm late. So you see, that's a very, very severe consequences when we're late. Last but not least, I think this is something that I heard Ahmed from Cameroon mention. It needs to have an objective. It have to have a goal, and you do this so you can achieve something, right? Aim to achieve some specific measurable goal. The key word right here is a measurable goal, right? That goal has to be measurable. You cannot just say, oh, I have to do this project, so I want to live to 100 years old, right? That cannot be. If you last to 100 years old, it's very measurable, but none of us can say, I can plan all of this and I will live to 100, because there's so many risk factors, right? So it have to have an objective. What is the specific goal that you try to achieve? Some of you want to host a conference. Some of you want to move the factory. Some of you want to go buy a house. Some of you want to go, have in a family or put your kid to college. All of these are project-based. I did 2 projects to save up money so I can put my kids to college. The reason that I somewhat think differently than Miss Helen's from Kenya is that when I save money, it's not simple. The fact that I just take the money and put it in the bank, right? You have to go figure out how to invest. You got to make sure you don't lose the money. The money got to grow. And then what if the money not growing? How do you compensate for all of that? It's a lot involved in investing and a lot of saving than just strictly take money and put it in the bank. So all of these are potentially can be a project, because it does have the beginning and it does have the end. The minute my kid's 18 years old, that thing is done, because now they get into college, and then they just use that college fund and start paying for the education. Okay, so basically all of you that answer most of my questions from the registration, I do see you have real project. A lot of you don't have a real project and you just want to say, oh, I just want to learn. It's nothing wrong with that. But most of you that already manage the Build School Foundation construction, all of those can be your project, okay? All right, so those are just the introduction. What are we going to do in the last 7 weeks or so? Here's the learning objective that I want you to be able to accomplish when we're done with this course. I want you to understand why project management in your business, whatever your business is that you try to solve here. I will teach you how to define the scope, because without the scope, that means the objective. That's a message. We have to achieve something. You have to have the scope. Without the scope, then we cannot, have a project. Then you have requirements and we have objectives. So all of that we call project initiation, right? You need to have a project charter. What exactly is a project charter? Project charter is the authorization. Somebody say, okay, you are the project manager. You are, given this much money. You are given this much time. You are given this many people so you can do this project. So somebody have to authorize you. So you do need to have the project charter. Without a project charter, you don't really have the authority to go run the project. The most important technical thing you can learn to be a good project manager is the 3 words: work breakdown structure. Work breakdown structure is the way to take something very complicated, some high level, like go build an airport. Go build an airport is something very, very big with $2 billion and 2 years. It's a very big, but then how do you break it down something small and then become manageable? So work breakdown structure is something I would teach you how to take your project and break it down to small work breakdown structure and do it. I will teach you how to do a project schedule, right? So you can come up with a schedule based on the work breakdown structure that you come up in the previous bullet. I will teach you how to watch out for scope creep. Scope creep meaning something keep growing, right? You want to move the factory and it needs to be done with the factory that can handle 4 production lines. But then next 6 months, the CEO come back and say, you know what? I don't want to do this with 4 production lines. I want you to move the factory and I want to have 6 production lines. That's a scope creep, because originally we want to move and have 4 production lines. Now we have 6 production lines, right? So every time we have the scope change, we have to re-baseline the project. Because when you move from 4 production lines to 6 production lines, now you need more money, you need more time, and you need more people, right? You cannot just say, oh, okay, I can do 4, so therefore I can do 6. It doesn't work that way. In project management, when you change the scope, now you need to have more resources, okay? So that's the technical term. I'm going to teach you how to use the tool, the technique to manage the project during the execution, meaning during the time that you do the project. And the first tool that everybody needs to have is Microsoft Project. I will use Microsoft Project to create a sample project for you to see. I will need to see you turn in your Microsoft Project, that the project you try to do, so I can evaluate your Microsoft Project. If you give me something different tool, or you do it in Excel, or you do it in PowerPoint, or you do it in Microsoft Word, it makes it very difficult for me to work efficiently with you. So the tool we all need to use in the class is Microsoft Project. I'm going to teach you how to manage, monitor the schedule, manage the resource, and the risks, right? And the last but not least, I teach you how to close out a project when we are done, okay? You build a school for Build School Foundation in 3 months, 6 months. After 3 months, 6 months, we're done with it. We have the grand opening, move on. Chị Nhã and Viking Vietnam relocate, move to the new factory. They done with that. They run their production. That thing is done, right? Hiền Lê, you host a world conference. You do that thing, and when you're done with that, you're done. You move on, right? And same thing for Sipman, same thing for Ahmed, same thing for Hajalan. You sign up to build a school for Build School Foundation. When you build it, we give you the dedicated plaque. You do a grand opening, you're done, move on, okay? And the key is that I will make sure that I answer any question you have, either on this chat room or in the private setting. If you say, hey, I have something I don't want everybody else to know about my business, I'm perfectly fine with that. But we be flexible because we in this chat, this learning group here, we have different understanding and different knowledge about project management. So I will make sure that I be flexible to accommodate everybody, either you're a beginner or you're a professional, meaning you've been doing project management for 5 to 10 years. Right? The key is that you have homework. You learn only an hour here with me. You ask all the questions, but during the week, make sure you spend time to do all your homework, because the more you put your efforts in, the more you will learn. Project management is something that you have to do a lot to master. It's like learning a martial art or learning a language. You cannot just say, oh, I read the book, I listen to the lecture, and I watch the YouTube video, and you be good at it. You will never ever be good at project management, because this is very hands-on. Okay, so those are the learning objective. If anything else, somebody say, oh, hey, or teacher, I really want to learn this, let me know. Okay. All right, so let's get to the real thing. Oh, as far as that, we have 1 hour 15 minutes for each session. The first 30 minutes, I teach you all the technical aspect of what project management is all about, meaning how you do a schedule, how you do book style structure, how do you link all of the information together, how do you take what happened first, what happened last. The next 30 minutes, we use a case study. We pick a real case study, either from Build School Foundation, from your own project, and we study that case together and say, hey, how do we solve this, or how do we handle this? And the last 15 minutes, usually I will teach you about some soft skill and mention about homework. Project management has a lot to do with soft skill, because it's different. The key words here is project management, and you be project manager. A manager is not the leader. Manager and leader are something totally different. A manager is somebody pay a lot of attention to cost, schedule, and KPI, key parameter. Leader is somebody worry about stakeholder, make sure customer happy, make sure everybody else bigger than a project happy, right? So the leader is more like a CEO, and the project manager more like the head of the department or whatnot. Sometimes the roles can be interchanged. You be a project manager, you be a manager in one situation, but then you might have to play the role of the leader as well if you have to go out and meet people and try to get funding or try to do that. I know a lot of you say you really want to learn project management so you can get more sponsors and give you money to go build school and all that stuff. Those more into the leadership aspect of being a good manager. But to me, I make it very clear distinction between a manager and a leader. Those are two different skill sets. And we focus here to teach you to become a good managers. And the first skill to be a good project manager, you need to have attention to detail. You need to have really good attention to detail. If you keep making little mistakes, you don't have that attention to detail, you will never ever be a good project manager. A good project manager needs to have ability to see everything in great detail. And then we can go from there. Cannot say, oh, I'm a big picture kind of guys, and I don't care about little thing. Project management will hurt you a lot because if you don't pay attention to little detail. Okay, so what are the 5 key steps of project management that we teach you? So in the future, if you need to go past the PMP exam, you need to know. The project management lifecycle identifying 5 steps. Okay, 5 steps. First, we call initiate. Initiate meaning you need to have a proposal, you have the authorization. That we call project charter. So that first step got to be done. If you don't have your boss authorize you to run a project and give you the project charter with name you a project manager, name you resources and money, you don't have a project. So Ngọc Hà, unless chị Nhã give you a project charter to say you are the PM or whoever is the PM, this is the time that you need to do the move, this is the money that you have, this is all the resources, people that help you, you don't have the project yet, and you will need to request that. The second step, after you're done with initiation, you need to put the plan together. So you need to put a plan together. That means when you start talk about time frame, resource constraint, and what is the end delivery. And this is when we talk about work breakdown structure, we build a schedule and we start putting on the resources. And this is something that we start learning next week, right? Execution. So during the time we do the planning, now we need to go execute it. This is where we start doing the work, right? You do everything. And during the time that you do the work, as the project manager, you need to learn how to monitor and control. That's step number 4. You monitor and control. So you make sure that we do it right, we do it wrong, we do a heads up schedule, we do behind schedule, we do it within the budget, or we do it, with cost overrun. So that's the part we call monitor and control. And of course, the last step is very important in project management. We need to close out the project and move on, right? We don't just lingering with the project. You're doing a fundraising, the fundraising got to be, and you deliver the money to the customer or to the school, you're done. You move the factory, when the factory is moved, relocated, you're done. And then, that's it. So the diagram that we show is that initiation, planning and design, and then you go execution and monitoring and control. This is the loop that it will go over and over and over until you're done with the project and you close out. So this is what a project life cycle is all about. It's different with the product development cycle, okay? Because these two is not the same. If you develop a product, then it follow a different step, they call it different life cycle, right? And I put this so you can see side by side. A lot of, there's somebody from a company that working on product. That's why I have to put the chart in so I can teach him the difference between a project and a product development cycle. Let's say you write a software, right? Or you write an app. Those are more like product development life cycle. You need to have a feasibility study and you need to build a prototype, meaning you just do a mock-up, right? You mock up, you say, hey, it is something that will work. And this is probably very suitable to Viking Vietnam because they always come out with the new products. So the product development life cycle is more for the people that build products. They introduce some new merchandise, so they have to, or customer come to them and say, hey, I have this idea, I need you to make this thing for me. That a product development cycle. So usually you have to do a feasibility, say, hey, can I really make this thing? And then if you can, you say, okay, let me get some material and I'm going to build you a prototype, right? When you build a prototype, and then you can start saying, now we have the prototype, it works. How can we turn it into a product? And what is the development process to make this into the product, right? And then you, after you plan all of those and you go into, okay, now I'm going to qualify and make sure the product will meet all of this. I'm going to build the pilot production, or we say sample production, or we call the low quantity run, right? You do that run. And when you've done that and you say, this is good and everything fine, you freeze the design. That means the design will not change. You stick to that and you go to launch, you're going to build a product, and you ship it out. And then if you say, hey, we need to change, we will change it later, okay? So the product life cycle is something in this group. I think Chị Nhã, Viking Vietnam, and also the gentleman from Vinbrain or now NVIDIA Vietnam, NVIDIA Vietnam, those are only maybe need to learn about the product development cycle and how project apply to them, because they do have the project, to do this, but their cycle is a little bit different. We will focus more on the project management life cycle. So what we do will be 5-step initialization, planning, execution, monitor and control, and close out. Okay, so those are the five domains I will focus on teaching you in this class. All right, so we look at the overall the schedule. Today is session 1. I'm trying to teach you all the initiate, define a project charter, define the scope, and then we will do a work breakdown structure. Next week, we'll start put them in the schedule. We start putting at the resource, and we plan for all of that. This today is mainly just define the work and try to come up with breakdown structure. That will be your homework. And then module, this is week 1, week 2, week 3, and then we opt for Lunar New Year, and we have 5. You learn how to do monitor control, and 6 learn how to do closeout. The last session you're going to present your own project, and I will give you more information how you present your own project to the rest of the class. To me, when you learn and you practice and you deliver in terms of presentation, you learn a lot more, right? And this is how we teach people in America. We learn by doing something instead of just listen to lecture, all right? And then you have to pass the final exam to earn the certificate of completion from Build School Foundation. We do have the exam for you to take. Okay, so those are the roadmap of what we do. And now we will get to go into detail. Everything I do, I have the framework. So this is a framework for you if you need to go say, I really confused and I have no idea where to start. And every time I do framework, I call it the technique. And this is a technique from Build School Foundation, from the Leadership Foundation Academy. Based on all thousands of projects that I manage, it really boiled down to 5 steps that you need to follow to build a Microsoft project plan. You need to create a task list, and you need to do a work breakdown structure, WBS for short, right? Step number 1 is very important. That's what we focus on today. Create a task list and work breakdown structure, okay? I have somebody that say, hey, teacher, I need to plan a conference. I don't even know where to start. This is the step number 1. You need to create a task list and you need to come up with a work breakdown structure, okay? Sipman can say, hey, now they ask you to build 14 toilets, and now they give you another school, 171 to build. And she would say, how I'm going to build, 14 toilets? Exactly. You need to create a task list and you need to figure out what is the work breakdown structure to build 1 toilet, and then from there you can build another 13 toilets, right? It's very, very simple. Step number 2 is you have some tasks as the parents and some tasks as children. And that's where we need to use a Microsoft project tool to build these tasks, and we indent them, meaning we push them in and push them in so they relate to each other. This is a technical thing that I will teach you how to do it next week. And then for each of these tasks, they need to have duration, right? That means this is going to be a few days, this is going to be a few weeks, or this is to be, a month long or whatnot. If it's a month long, we need to decompose, we need to break them down to a smaller time. Ideally, everything we do, it needs to be about a few days or a week long. If it's longer than that, that means you don't break it down enough. If you break it out to like hours, then it's too detailed, right? So ideally 2-3 days should be the smallest unit of the work package that you need to have. And from the work package, we start apply resources, and we still apply other, people, material, equipment, then you will have a project. And then we create dependency. Dependency meaning which one happened first, which one happened last, or which one happened in the middle, right? Like when Sipman tried to build a school or build a toilet for us, they need to have a foundation, and then they need to have the wall, and they need to have the roof, and then they need to have the door and the painting, right? You cannot say, oh, I'm going to build a house, but I'm going to build the roof first, because that doesn't make sense, right? How can you build a roof when you don't have the structure to house, to support the roof? So the dependencies is the orders of the task, which one happened first, which one happened last, right? And aside resources, that means you put people, you put equipment, you put money, you put all the resources in, right? So if you learn how to follow these 2 simple steps, you should be able to build a project plan, and then you can have a project. All right, the example that I'm going to use today is a fundraise. All right, so let me move this out of the way so I can talk about this thing. So this is just the example that I'm using to teach you to do a 5K run or walk fundraise campaign. So then the first thing when somebody come to me and say, hey, Jimmy, I need you to do a 5K fundraise, a 5K walk fundraise for me. And I say, okay, I need to go do a fundraise. How do I start? So I say, okay, the first thing I need to do is I need to do this campaign, therefore I need to do a planning, right? So what is my fundraising goal? Who are the target that I'm going to target? What is the fundraising strategy with this 5K walk that I need to do? So those are the tasks that I'm going to list it out, are the tasks. And I say, I'm going to do this in week 1. Second, now I have all of these things planning. How do I launch the campaign so people know, right? So the next step is that now I have to create a campaign message, okay? And this example is something very related to when you plan for your conference or you plan to do a digital transformation, it follow a very similar step. So this is something that when I design this exercise, I have your project in my mind. You need to choose a fundraising platform. Okay, are you going to use an app that in Vietnam? Are you the app international? Are you use the app that everybody can donate? We have to figure out the platform, right? You have to design promotion material, flyer, banner, all that stuff, and then you have to launch a campaign. You got to go find a participant. You got to sign them up. You have to forecast, hey, how much money I can bring it in each of the week, each of the month, and stuff like that. So we need to have all of those things. Okay. Even though this is a 5K fundraise campaign, but a step by step, it makes absolutely no difference. If you plan to move your factory or if you plan to launch a new software, it needs to follow very similar step, right? And for this case study, I just want to do the fundraising campaign, but the step that we have to plan and we have to start, and we need to have people involved, meaning who else that we can outreach. In this case, with fundraising, how to use social media, how do you send fundraising email, how do you contact local business to get support, sponsorship, donation. It's all the same. So those are the 3 steps, and I think I have a couple more. And now we go to next step, we do the execution and monitor and control. And this one we do in 4 weeks 4 to 7, because this is a longer, right? We have to do registration, donation. We have to regular meet and get update with our key team leader. We need to, and then it gets to the day that we do a 5K walk. That's the day that we have to make sure we have safety brief, we have snack, we have drink, we have registration, we have PR, cameraman, TV crew, T-shirt, giveaway, entertainment, all that stuff, right? But at least we know that day, the day that everybody show up and do a 5K walk, we need to have a lot of activity. And when we're done with that, during the weeks 4, 5, 6, 7, then the last week is when we evaluate, did we meet our goal, did we success? We have to write thank you letter to donor supporter. We have to write a check to whatever the charity that we support, and then we have to document the lesson learned, right? The lesson learned that you document during your closeout phase is the most important thing that a project manager can do. Because if you don't document all of these lessons learned, you will never learn. And I keep seeing a lot of questions from the Hanjin Rangli group ask me that in season 1, they pretty much asked me the same question. Season 2, they asked me pretty much the same questions. And season 3, they asked me pretty much the same question. How can I motivate more people? And I say the answer haven't changed in 3 years. So because they have not documented the lesson learned and look at it. And that's telling me that somebody just not have the attention to detail. But being a good project manager, you need to document all this and learn. And at the company, this is the most valuable thing that you can build up for your company and train new project manager in your company. It's very, very important. Okay. So this is something that we say, big goal. I need to raise $30,000 within 2 months with the 5K walk, right? So this is the high objective up front, and all of the things that we break it out here, it's just all the detail that we plan. All right, so that is very similar to Miss Hiền Lê, how much money she needs to fundraise or ask for donation and get sponsor. She can plan a conference, a war show, a war nights or whatever. She needs to define that. How much money do I need to have sponsorship, and how much time do I have to do this to have this award show? So this is one of the key example. When I look at your project that you say you have really challenge, you need help, I come up with this solution so that kind of help you. All right. The work breakdown structure, this is something that I'm not going into today because I think this is very, very complicated to cover all today at the introduction. So I will go over this in next week. So I just put the sample of what the work breakdown structure is supposed to look like, so you all can see. I take a training project. It have nothing to do with fundraising. I should have done one, but I don't have enough time today, so I run out of time. So I use a different WBS. So I just show you what a WBS is all about. But you need to take something high level at one, and you decompose it to the 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and under each of these you decompose and one more, right? And we will talk more about this next week. So here is the important thing that everybody needs to remember. The homework is that you need to look at the project that you want to learn and you want to practice. And the homework for this week, you need to create a task list and the work breakdown structure, similar to the thing that I just did for this 5K fundraise, right? So I come up with all the tasks that I need to do. And I have the work breakdown structure, meaning I have number 1, and I have 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and I have 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, have 3, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Same thing with 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are what we call work breakdown structure, because each of these are the work package that we will link them together next week. Okay. That's the technical thing that everybody needs to look at your project and start come up with a task list and a work breakdown structure. And as I mentioned in the chat group, you need to install Microsoft Project. If you have not used Microsoft Project before, make sure you have it and you know how to use Microsoft Project, even at the basic level, because that's the tool that we're going to use to do this class. And I don't have time to teach you Microsoft Project. That's a class in itself. So you got to learn this tool so you can come up with the Gantt chart with the resources. And when you've done the WBS, I teach you how to build a schedule, and I teach you how to load the resources and stuff. And then things start moving pretty quick. And we will not stop and teach you how to use Microsoft Project. You got to make sure you know how to use that even at the basic level. And it's not that hard. That tool is actually a very powerful tool. You cannot be a good project manager without knowing Microsoft Project. So at least spend the weekend and play with it. So get yourself familiar with it. Or look at a YouTube video how to build a simple project with Microsoft Project and run it. So then when I start teaching you things, you can apply and use it right away. Okay. That's all I want to share with all of you today. We still have like 7 minutes. So I just want to take a pause right now and check in with everybody and see if everybody's still with me, or everybody say, oh my God, this thing is too quick, too fast. How is that sound to everybody so far? Viking Vietnam, are you all good? Ngọc Hà, chị Nhã.
Yeah, I see that's interesting. And Viking team will be joined on that project, on that training, and we will do our homework in order to learn in next week. Yeah.
Okay. So far so good, or this is too fast,
Yeah, so
too
far so
slow?
good. Yeah.
So far so good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Thank you, Nhã và Ngọc Hà. Put your factory moving at your real project. Okay. I want you to do that at the real project so I
Yes.
can coach you at the same time.
May we do 2 projects, Mr. Jimmy?
Sure.
We will do one with the relocation factory, and the second one we will do the expanding markets in the July exhibition this year. Yeah.
You have 2 separate project managers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Then you can run 2 projects. I just
Yeah.
try to double.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sipman, how is it so far?
I don't know how to answer. Can you translate me Vietnamese? And I waiting the answer.
Con thấy cái lớp học nó như thế nào?
Okay. For me, this is so amazing because I think if the first time I think I don't want enjoy this class, but my feeling said, oh, I want to know more because I live in Cambodia, so hard to find the school to study because I live in province, not living in country, and I don't have money to study this. So this is many mean for me. I will take a time search and I will take my time to study more next week.
Good.
I just don't know. I don't know how to say something, but I just say that this is amazing for me and a good time for me to work hard next time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Sipan, you probably one of the most talented project manager that I have a chance to work with. So I don't know, maybe you don't know all of this, but since you you know how to do things well at home or whatnot, but the way you manage all of the project for Build School Foundation is really, really good. And I really like working with you because when I say one thing, you already know exactly 2 or 3 things that I want you to do. So you already go do all of these things ahead of I'm asking you. So that's why we like to working with you a lot, and Golly really likes you because you very organized and you very smart. We ask you one thing and you already do this 2 and 3, right? So you are very natural project manager. So these are the tools that you can learn the right process and that make you even better. So I hope that in the future you can handle things like building a church, building something even bigger than just small school project that we been asking you to do in the last 2 years. But these are prepare you to have a lot of experience. So the day that you have to go build a church for a couple of $1 million, you know how to handle it. Okay, and that's the whole idea why I want you to take this class. Okay, thank you, Gong. All right, Miss Hiền Lê.
Yes, thầy. I feel very excited and confident that I can successfully complete my homework and my project with the guidance of Jimmy Thai.
Okay.
Okay.
And your English is actually pretty good, so you don't have to worry about
No.
that. Okay. You have confidence and you have the confidence. The first thing you need to have confidence in yourself. Okay. All right.
Yes.
You will be fine. All right, Miss Lương Lê.
So interesting. I feel I'm so lucky when I'm here because this knowledge I cannot study in any university in Vietnam. The fact when I listen to you, I can receive some quick issues when I lead my team hành trình rèn luyện cho Build School Foundation. And so thank you so much, and I will do my homework well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think you can pick the project that you plan to do on the trip for Thai when I return in April, and we have to go visit school in Hoa Sufi, and we have to go plan the fairy cave expedition. So those are the things that you can use though as an example. Unless you have other projects, I know that you want to buy a house, so that could be a project in itself that you can plan to use that. So those are things that you can apply. Because I like you to practice with a real project as much as possible, so I can coach you and make sure that you will do it right, you do it wrong, doesn't matter. But it's a good opportunity for me to teach you. Okay. All right. Thank you, Carl. Ahmed, you still awake?
Yes, I'm still up. Thank you very much. This first session was very insightful, and I also love the engagement around it. And honestly, I've learned some solid foundation, some terminologies, and really the importance of project management. And I also really love the discussion around it. And I hope that with the assignment that we have, the homework is going to broaden the ideologies around it. So I'm really eager to be part of the next 5 sessions to see how all is going to look like. And I'm trying to also gauge my level at the end to see how far I've gone and what difference did I take throughout the course. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Sir Jimmy. So that's a pleasure.
Yeah, Ahmed, something that I know you are a very good engineer, construction engineer, so that's very important. And that's how I started out. I'm a very good engineer first, right? So for the first 8, 10 years or so of my career, I'm an electrical engineer, so I'm pretty good with that. And what you're doing right now with all the eco brick, and you help them teach them how to build school with plastic bottles, stuff like that. It's good. That's good because I want you to work on that and be a very good technical person and know how to build school with a plastic bottle and all this eco brick. So that's a good step, first step. But the next step I can see you can progress, you become construction manager, right? So you can be a construction manager, meaning you don't just teach them how to do the thing, but you can start manage a crews that do the thing together. And you can see the mistake like we facing with the not we at you and I, but the people that running the second Tanzania project with the Messiah. They put the project together. You and I agree that it costs too much money, right? So how can they start building that school without people approve the project with the budget in the first place? So that's from the project management standpoint, that's a no-no, right? That school should have not been authorized to start because we did not agree on the budget, okay? So and then you came in and you helped them bring the cost down, all that stuff. But those are the issues in project management. If those people working for me, I fire all of them because I'm serious that if they start out the project without having enough money to do, that means they will not finish the project. And from the project management standpoint, I will fire all of those people if they are my employees. So you will be a very good construction manager in the future with your technical background. So I hope that you learn all of these management skills. And next time when you get involved with a project, pay attention to the budget, pay attention to the money discussion. Because technical is a good thing. Next up, you need to learn more about cost, about budget, about schedule. And then, when you pass that to be a good manager, then you can learn to be a good leader. That's a very natural progressive that people with technical background. Be a good technical engineer, be a good technical person, learn to be a good manager, and then learn to be a good leader. Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Sir Hajalan from the Philippines.
Yes, sir. Hi.
Comment, question?
I have no questions so far, but I really find this PMP very helpful in my end because this will definitely improve my project management skills here in the Philippines in terms of the implementing projects here for Build the School Foundation. And apart from that, I really learned and also noticed that it's one of the things that I really need to improve in terms of implementing projects here in the Philippines is the giving attention to small details, especially with contracts, with constructors, or should we say local carpenters? Because when it comes to fundings, we are well provided by the foundation as well as with the support coming from the local communities. But I myself is having difficulties in terms of management on the end of implementing the project itself together with the constructors. We are really having problems in terms of beating the deadline, but I'm pretty much sure that through this I would be able to improve my skills in terms of implementing projects, and of course would also improve in terms of giving attention to small details yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much excited, to be honest, for this one. I'm pretty much excited to, of course, soon, if possible, to pass the exam, to become a project management professional. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important for you. I read your registration form and I know that you have a hard time managing your contractor right now. So you hit the nails right in the head. You need to know how to read the contract because when we have the contract, then the contractor has to do what in the contract, right? So those are the legal binding that as a good project manager, you have that tool. You have the contract to say, hey, you need to do in this time frame, and if you late, I'm going to penalize you by you have to pay a fine or I'm going to deduct certain payment from you. So those are the things that I will show you later when we get about the risk management part. But I read your registration and that's the part that really get my attention, that how can you get your contractor to do the way that you want him to do. That's first, and second, how can he deliver things on schedule, right? As a good manager, you cannot come to me and say, Mr. Jimmy, our school is late again because I cannot control my managers, my construction manager. That's not something I like to hear, okay? Because we have the obligation to our donor that I have to deliver the school on time too. So when your contractor does not build your school on time, that put pressure on me to go and have, to talk to my donor why I'm not meeting the schedule. So there's a domino effect to your delay, impact the Build School Foundation, and I will make sure I help you how to control your contractor. Okay, good. Okay, all right. Everybody have a chance to share, and I just want to stop right now because I know that we try to finish the class within an hour, 15 minutes, and I promise you we'll keep track of that. If somebody have more questions and needs to stay, I'm more than happy to stay and take any other question or advise you after the class. But if not, then I'm going to sound the bell and then we can close out this session. Make sure everybody do your homework, okay? We move really fast. You don't have a lot of time, so try to stay on with me, because when I treat all of you like master level students, I don't treat you like my students or my people working for Build School Foundation. When I teach you, I all treat you like you are study for your master degree level, and that's the level I treat you, and I expect a lot from all of you to put in that amount of effort. Okay, any other question from anybody? Last chance, raise your hand. No? Right, I'm going to sound the bell. We have a minute of mindfulness and we close it now, then I can go eat dinner. All right, thanks everybody. Enjoy your day, enjoy the weekend, and I will make sure the PowerPoint will be available on the Facebook chat, Messenger chat group, so you can download it and study and do your homework. Okay?
Dạ. Tạm biệt thầy.
Bye mọi người.
Con chào thầy.
Bye cô.
Bye.